You just took your first loan signing. First step, absolutely, you have to do this within 1 hour, 2 hours. If you can do it immediately after you took the closing, do it. Call the signers. If you have the signer's phone number, make sure you're calling them in order to let them know that you're the closer that's going to be there for the closing. A lot of times what happens with the new closers, new notaries, is that they get the order, they don't know what to do, they don't call the signers, and then the signers are calling their loan officer, they're calling the title rep because they haven't heard from anyone. And then in a little second, the signing service is getting blasted with phone calls and emails from the loan officer, from the title company, because the notary that was assigned to the closing did not call the signers. It's very, very important that once you take a closing, you immediately call the signers. It's very important. Secondly, in the previous video, I'm sure you know, I would have told you to test your printer and test your scanner. Make sure you do that before the documents come in. You don't want any hiccups. Last thing you need is for you to be late to a closing because your printer or your scanner isn't working. That's gonna suck. So make sure you avoid that by testing your printer and testing your scanner beforehand. What's the next step that's gonna happen? So they sent you the documents. This is your first closing. If you have some time, print out the whole package. Make sure you're printing 2 copies, one for you and one for the signer. Go over the package. If you're a new closer, it's okay if you put some sticky notes on the package stating, some sticky notes pointing to where the person needs to sign. Go through the package carefully. I highly recommend it if this is your first loan signing, first refi, first purchase, that you go through the whole package and read everything if you have time. If you don't have time, it's okay. I would have, in the previous video, I told you to take a course on the loan signings, get yourself a mock loan signing package that you can go through it. But once you have the physical package in your hand, try to go through it if you have some time. It's going to save you a lot of headaches and you're not going to be flustered at the signing table. Next step is for you to head off to the signing. Look, take a breather. Your first signing, my first signing, I can tell you, my hands were shaking. I was breathing hard. I had my eyes were turning red. You're going to be very anxious when it comes to your first signing, and that's okay. It means you care. If you're not anxious for your first signing, I'd be a little bit concerned because I feel like you don't care as much. But if you're just a cool-headed person all around, hey, that's you. Normally, people get flustered, and it's okay for you to feel anxious. Just take a breather and just know that if you took your training seriously, you're going to be okay. All right. So now that we've established what you need to do after you've taken your first closing, you're off to your closing. You're off to the run. Now you're at the table. Look, I recommend that once you get to your signing, you text, either if this was directly from a title company, you're going to text the title company to let them know, I just arrived at the closing table. And if this is a signing service, it's no different. If you're doing this on platforms such as Notary Dash or Signing Order, you leave a comment and you let them know that you just arrived at the closing table. If they contacted you via email, you get the gist of things. Leave a comment, let them know that you just arrived at the table. You've done the closing now. You've arrived at the table. You let everybody know you've done the closing. Excuse me. Great. Now, you're going to head back home. And if this is a package that requires you to scan back, scan the package through. This is why you need to have had checked your scanner beforehand. You don't want any hiccups when it comes to your scanner now that you're home and you're ready to scan. Especially if you have to ship off the package same day, right? All right, you scan the package through. Now, guys, the rule of thumb is that if you did this closing before 4 o'clock, you need to absolutely drop off the package the same day. Even if they don't tell you that. The rule of thumb is if the closing was done before 4 o'clock, write it down. Write this down. Don't forget it. If you did the closing before 4 o'clock, make sure that you're dropping it off at UPS or FedEx the same day. And, pro tip, go on the UPS, go on the FedEx website. You're going to be able to check locations. Look at the locations and check for the latest express pickup. FedEx actually labels it express pickup. There's going to be like an orange label, a green label. The orange label is the one you want to check for, and you're going to check the last pickup. You do not want to miss that last pickup. And if you think you're going to a location that they have already picked it up, the FedEx or UPS website is going to show you the places and the times that the packages are picked up in those locations. So check that beforehand before you drop off the package, because if you drop off the package at the wrong location, we're going to be in trouble, because now the package is going to arrive at the title company late, and we can't afford that. So the signing service and title, they're going to be both pissed off that the package is arriving late, especially if you did the closing at 10 a.m., which has happened to one of the closers that I assigned to a closing. Did the closing at 10 a.m. and did not drop off the package same day. Big trouble. So look, in order for you to avoid missing any fees or losing any fees, make sure you drop it off the same day. Also, one tip before you drop off your package, this is your first loan signing, go over your package 3 times, 4 times if you have to, and triple check for missed signatures and initial. I actually recommend that if this is your first loan signing, that you actually just start off by taking 1 per day. Don't flood yourself with loan signings. Don't take 3, 4, 5 in a day. Take 1. The reason I want you to take 1 is because once you're going through the package at the FedEx drop-off area, if you notice an initial is missing or a signature is missing, you're going to have time to go back to the signer and have it fixed. Now, if you have multiple closings already scheduled for that day, we're in trouble, because you can't be late to your other appointments. So now title and signing service is pissed off because you're not having it fixed in time, and now you missed the last pickup, you missed the last drop off. Big trouble.